Welcome to the Dare to Begin Small and Mighty podcast, episode number 55. Today we're going to talk about just what you can accomplish in 20 minutes. That's it. All we need is 20 minutes, guys. Let's get right into it. I spent years building my interior design business, trying to do all the things. The marketing, the networking, the free content, spending thousands of dollars on training and education, only to see minimal growth. After years of frustration, I finally started to ask, what am I missing? I had the systems in place for powerful growth. I had amazing clients. I had determination, drive, and commitment to spare. And yet, I wasn't seeing the success I desired. What if business is not about the doing? What if building a powerful business requires both powerful systems and something else, something deeper? I'm Amy Van Meel, and I'm on a journey to discover that something else. If you are ready to build a powerful business and do it knowing that your success is inevitable, join me as I share both the powerful systems I know work and my lessons and revelations as I discover that something deeper. Welcome, Changemaker, to the Dare to Begin Small and Mighty podcast. Well, hey there, Changemaker. Amy here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited that you're listening to me today, and I'm just excited to sit down and have some time with you. So thanks for joining me on the podcast. So I'm excited about today's topic. I'm kind of excited in like every possible realm. If you could like see energy around me right now, I'm sure it'd be like fireworks going off around my body today. It's Monday. I'm fucking stoked. Not because any particular reason other than I just am. I decided to be that way. And so, yeah. That sounds almost like conceitful, doesn't it? Like I sound really full of myself. But here's the cool thing about it. You get to choose it too. You get to choose every day whether or not you're going to wake up and be like, ugh, this is going to be a terrible day. Or you get to wake up and think, I'm stoked for today. I'm excited. So what I want to talk about today, I'm going to get right into it because I want to keep today's episode within 20 minutes because I'm about to make a very big point here. So pay close attention. Get that sip of your coffee, clear your throat, think about where you are right now. Listen to the sound of my voice. Listen to the sound of my voice. I want to talk about 20-minute time stamps. And here's what I want to talk about specifically. I recently revamped my morning timeline, my morning routine, whatever you want to call it, a little bit. And because I wanted to bring in a few more things, I wanted to bring exercise back in, but in a way that was manageable. I had been exercising quite a bit, but then it sort of fell by the wayside because I was struggling to be able to, it became a trade-off. I either did a workout in the morning or I did work in the morning. And I'm like, ugh, like, can I make the two, can I reconcile the two? Can I make the two, happen on the same day? So I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how that's going to be. I was wrestling with my physical shape. I have the glorious honor of having a not fuller shape. It wouldn't, I don't know how to explain myself. I don't really need to explain myself, but needless to say, my body was not feeling the way that I wanted it to feel. I was feeling a bit disheartened about how I looked physically, and that was really impacting a lot of areas of my life. And so I'm like, well, Amy, there's one way to make it better and to move in the direction that you want to, and that will be to exercise. So I came back to this, like, how do I reconcile the time I have in the morning with my desire to exercise, not just to lose weight or whatever, but also to feel good, like energy. Exercise gives me a phenomenal amount of energy. How do I bring the two of them together? And at the same time, I didn't want to let go of anything that I have in the morning, most specifically my meditation, because things like breakfast, a shower, those have to happen in the morning, right? I mean, we got to get up and brush our teeth. Those are non-negotiables. They have to happen in the morning. So how could I incorporate some exercise into my morning and incorporate meditation? And to just put the cherry on the top, I just finished doing the Epically Aligned course that Catherine Zankina had in like right at New Year's. It came out just the last second week of January or something. And in our course, she talked about how she always does 20 minutes of meditation every day. That's a non-negotiable for her. She always does 20 minutes, and she believes in the power of 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, so I'm, really needing to work to get a day where I'm 10 minutes in. How can I incorporate 20 minutes? I mean, I see Catherine's and Keena's life and I'm like, yeah, I want to learn from her. I want to, move into emulating her life in my own way, because girl's got it going on. She's got a lot of the realities that I am working on creating in my life. So, all right, I want to incorporate exercise and I want to move my meditation from a sort of random amount where some mornings it was 10 minutes and some mornings it was maybe 30 minutes to standardizing it 20 minutes. Let's commit to 20 minutes every day. So I had to really take a good look at my morning and be honest about what I was willing to do and what I was capable of doing. Let's be honest here for a second, because I think especially when it comes to morning routines, you can tell me if I'm wrong, that's totally fine. But if you have heard similar things that I've heard, it seems like people get up at ungodly hours. Am I right? Like, I don't understand how people get up at 4 a.m. and write a book. I mean, kudos to them for doing it. And if that's you, my hat is off to you, my friend, because I have no idea how to do that. 4 a.m., I'm barely coherent. I'm not even barely coherent. I am not coherent. I am grumpy at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. is a time that I don't want to see. Period. I want my eyes to be closed. I want to be somewhere off in La La Land. That's how me and 4 a.m. interact. And I'm good with that. I'm happy to keep it that way. But I had to go and think about, well, Amy, if these are the things that you want to do and you still want to, my goal was to basically be in my office ready for work at 9 o'clock in the morning, meaning my coffee is in hand and I am like in my office ready to work, whether that's here to record a podcast for you guys, whether I'm working on design projects I've got on the go, whether I'm working on the Dare to Begin Enlightened Entrepreneur Shop, like whatever it's going to be. 9 a.m., I wanted to be in the office because what I had noticed had happened or was happening was that my mornings were creeping into my work time. And so I'm like, all right, okay, Amy, we can do this. We can figure this out. We're a smart cookie. We can come up with a plan that will work. And we're going to do it without creating a phenomenal amount of overwhelm. And that's a key. I want to really just sort of drive that point home a little bit. When you are making changes, any changes in your life, be conscious of the fact that, as I think most of us, particularly if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably very much like me. You're an achiever. You want to do things. You want to impact people. You want to, like you're vibrating so much that you can't speak incoherent sentences. Is that just me? Maybe it's just me. But I think that most of us really want to create some change in the world. We have a big dream. You're not listening to this podcast because you're totally happily sitting on the couch doing nothing all day, right? This podcast would not be for you. If you are doing that, then I'm really curious why you're listening. Maybe you just like the sound of my voice. Do you like the sound of my voice? Am I weirding you out right now with my weird, sexy voice? Yeah, anyway. So you are here, you're wanting to do more, but one of the potential side effects of wanting to do more is that we create much more task than we have time. Does that make sense? So for example, exercise. Exercise is a perfect example in my life because here's what I would do. For example, I would say, okay, I'm going to work out 30 minutes. 30 minutes I'm going to work out. I'm going to work out at, approximately this pace, enough to challenge myself, but not so much that I can't function for the rest of the day. And then I get into the workout and I go, oh, maybe I should go a little harder. Oh, you know what? Boy, I really didn't do anything yesterday. Or, oh, I had those chips yesterday or ate that cupcake yesterday. Okay, maybe I should do a little bit more. Okay, maybe 30 minutes isn't good today. Maybe today I'll do 45 minutes. Maybe instead of focusing on time today, I'll focus on how far I run if I'm doing a run. So I know that normally I can get say maybe 2 miles in 30 minutes. What if I can go for 4 miles? Let's go for 4 miles. Let's do that. Let's see if we can do that. And inevitably what happens is that I'm continually pushing the boundaries past. And then I'm back in the place of overwhelm because what happens is I either exhaust myself, I frustrate myself, or I have gone so far beyond the time that I'm now annoyed and feeling behind before the day's even begun. I haven't even had a shower yet. Like I'm just feeling behind. So when I was looking at revamping my morning routine, I have lived with myself for 36 years. I now am learning a lot about myself. And one of those things is, Amy, one of the patterns that we're working on breaking right now is creating overwhelm. So let's find a way to plan a morning that doesn't have that. All right? Okay, we could do this. Let's figure this out. So this is what I came up with. 20 minutes of meditation. That was a non-negotiable. What if I could do 20 minutes of exercise? 20 minutes of exercise is doable. Now, in truth, from the moment that I initiate the exercise protocol, meaning I get off the sofa from having my breakfast until I am back in my room taking my clothes off to go have a shower, that total time frame is about 30 minutes. So this is where I finally realized I was having the fall down before, where I'd say I'd do 30 minutes of exercise, but only account for the 30 minutes of exercise, not accounting for the time before and the time after. And then, of course, because I hadn't accounted for it, then I would just be like, oh, I'm behind. Okay, well, whatever. Like, I'll figure it out. I'll get there. So I decided 20 minutes. And I broke it down a little bit further. 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes of exercise. I want to really make sure that when I'm in that 20 minutes that I give myself time for my body to warm up. I give myself some time for my body to cool down, but that I'm also actually getting a good workout. Right? 20 minutes is not a lot of time. You might be thinking right now, Amy, 20 minutes, like, the whatever Health Code of Canada, whatever, says that we're supposed to have 30 minutes of exercise a day. All right, Health Code of Canada, or whoever it is that says this, the proverbial they say that. Whoever you are, great. I'm going to work on 20 minutes because I'd rather have 20 minutes of exercise with some high intensity in there than no exercise. And I'm going, boy, I really wish I could come up with some time to do this. So 20 minutes, I broke it down this way. 3 minutes to warm up, meaning whatever machine I get on, the first 3 minutes is just to get my body moving, to bring my heart rate up very slowly. I'm not on there like doing sprints or anything like that. I have 3 machines downstairs, just to give you some clarity. We have a treadmill, an exercise bike, like a regular normal bike thing, but like an exercise bike, and then a rowing machine. So I sort of cycle between those. And then I also wanted to, because a lot of those are focused on my legs, I also wanted to do more to work on my core. So then I also have a day where I do just core and I do whatever listen to this, whatever random exercises that occurs to me on that day. There's no routine. There's no specifics. The only thing that I know I do pretty much every time I have an ab day is plank for however long I can hold it. And some days it's longer and some days it's not. But the ab day is a little bit different because ab day I just do 20 minutes of exercises. It's less high intensity, it's more strength. And as soon as I get to like a point in repetitions and I don't even count them, I literally just feel my body. There is some exercise guru right now that I'm sure is shaking their head going, Amy, you're doing it all wrong. And I don't care. Here's why. All right. I'm telling you this in depth because exercise is one of those things that I think for most of us, we want to incorporate more of it into our day, but we see all the stuff out there that says you should do this, you need to do this, you have to think about that, you have to do this, you have to blah, blah, blah. And we get stuck in this position of like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? Because no matter what you do, you aren't seemingly doing enough. Somebody's going to tell you that you need to be, you need to get your heart rate here. You need to do this here. Let's just focus on getting it done, okay? We are entrepreneurs. Our goals in life, unless you're a fitness coach, in which case then all right, then your goal is a bit more focused on like the physical manifestation of your body. But for most of us entrepreneurs, we're doing something different that actually doesn't necessarily relate to how our body physically looks. Like we don't have clients necessarily looking at us going, wow, I want abs like that person, right? My design clients aren't looking at me going, wow, I want to have her butt. I really want to work with her because she's got a great butt. They don't care what my butt looks like. They want to know, can I do the job? Can I help them design their house? Can I help them keep from having a divorce, right? That's what my clients care about. But I care about my physical form. I care about the health of my body. I love the idea. I don't remember who it was that said that we're, I know Jim Fortin talks about cosmic beings, but somebody talked about our bodies kind of being like a rental car. That we arrive onto the planet, here's your rental car, and then when we leave, when we die, we return the rental car, right? I want a nice rental car. I want to keep it in good shape. I make sure that my WRX, it gets its why are words failing me? Its oil changes as it needs to. And like, if there are things that need to get outdated, that fixed or replaced or whatever else, that it gets it done because I want to keep it in good shape. So I digress. I've gone a little bit too far. Let me pull back. I'm talking really fast today, so I'm really hoping that you're keeping up with me. This is my high energy day, guys. I am just stoked for today. So I focused on 3-minute warm up, 15 minutes of as much intensity as I could do that day. And I needed to, before I ever stepped into the ring to do this exercise with myself, I needed to remind myself that 15 minutes of high intensity is going to fluctuate. There are days that I'm going to be on fire, like today, where I can just fucking nail it and like go hard for 15 minutes. And there are days, like a day when I get my period, that I am barely functioning. Like my body it feels like it's under siege, right? And I'm just like, okay, I have about 30% of the energy that I normally do. And so the 50 minutes of high intensity, then it's maybe less intense than every other day. And that's okay because I showed up and I did the work. And then 2 minutes of cool down. Now, here's the thing. Here's what blows my mind. So, one of the big reasons, this might sound funny, but one of the big reasons that I realized that I really needed to revamp what I was doing is my ski pants. What do my ski pants have anything to do with what we've talked about so far today? I ski every week. You know this. I love my WRX. I love my alpine skiing. If there's only 2 things that you need to know about me, those are basically it. And my ski pants for when I'm out on the ski hill were consistently fitting less and less and less and less well. They were uncomfortable wear. They were fine when I'm standing, but when I was sitting, they were so restrictive. It was driving me crazy. I have a stretchy belt because they don't make pants for girls with bottoms. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's a product idea I may have down the road. So I have a stretchy belt to hold my pants up because, I don't want my pants falling down. And I realized there was one day I was skiing. We had done maybe 2 or 3 runs. It was first thing in the morning. And I realized that I had more of my ski pants that were like sitting around the top of my boot than were actually covering my waist because I couldn't keep my pants up with the exercise from skiing and the motion from sitting on the chairlift and stuff. I couldn't keep my pants up far enough. And that really bothered me. And I'm like, okay. All right, this is obviously an issue for me, not necessarily for anybody else, but it was an issue for me. And, what can I do? So I started doing this. I started to do this 20 minutes of exercise every morning, basically Monday to Friday, sometimes on the weekends. Like I said, weekends usually are ski days, so Sundays, I'm on the ski hill. That's all the exercise a girl needs. But basically, my focus was 4 to 5 days a week. I would get these 20 minutes of exercise and 20-minute meditation in the morning and be in my office by 9 o'clock. It's been a few weeks since I've been doing it, and I made one other small change. I love sugar, all sugar. This is a girl who literally had all of my molars filled when I was 5 because that's how much I love sugar. Over the years, and definitely as I have progressed in my 30s, afraid to say that, but anyway, as I've moved into my 30s, my sweet tooth has definitely lessened. I'm not as interested in having sugar, which is fantastic. I'm grateful for that. But I definitely still loved, I love candy. I love chocolate cake. I love having a cookie every now and again. I wasn't having a ton of it, but I was still having it. And what I noticed in particular was that on certain days, not even like a specific day, but like if something was rather stressful, I would come to the kitchen and I'd grab a handful of candy. And it was only like maybe 4 or 5 pieces. I used to love those I still do, let's be honest. Those little dino sour candies, those are like the bomb. And so I'd grab maybe, 4 to 6, depending on the amount of colors that I could get out. There's 4 different colors. So usually got 4 to 6. And that might be it that I'd have for that day. And that was fine. It wasn't like I was overeating in any way, shape, or form, but I also wasn't happy with what my body looked like. And so I had an honest conversation with myself about, what am I actually getting this sugar for? What am I getting out of it? So if I'm getting something out of it that's useful, then okay, great. But if I'm actually just coming here because, I'm stressed or whatever and I'm trying to fill a hole, is there maybe something else that we could do, Amy? And so I never made an active choice to stop eating sugar. I just, when I would go in and go with the intention of having some candy or whatever, having a piece of chocolate or having some chips or whatever, I would just observe what I was thinking about and how I was feeling when I went in to go have that. And what this blew my freaking mind, you guys. What began to happen over a couple of weeks, because I wasn't judging myself. I wasn't standing there eating it going, Amy, you're such a loser. You should know better. You know this isn't good for you. Stop eating this. It's terrible for you. You want to lose weight, but you're standing here eating candy. Do you think it's really going to solve the problems? Blah, 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 blah. I wasn't doing that to myself. I was just like, okay, let's think, let's be open and bring some awareness around this. What am I getting out of this? And over a couple of weeks, I didn't want it anymore. And I'm like, that's quite interesting. And again, not creating any attachment around it other than like, okay, that's really quite interesting. That, I'm really not, I didn't have the craving necessarily to have it anymore. When I would have it, the interesting thing was it wasn't even that good after a while. I'm like, okay, well, that's quite interesting. So it was a small change, a very small change, but created definitely a huge amount of impact, I'm sure, in my life. But that was paired with the same time that I implemented the 20-minute exercise and the 20-minute meditation into my morning routine. About 2 weeks later, I think. I'd been doing this for a little while, but it was about 2 weeks. There was a time span of about 2 weeks because I couldn't ski for a couple of weeks. It was away or something. We get back to the ski hill. And I had talked with my coach the week before. I mentioned to her that, like, the thing about the sugar and that I've been just revamping things a little bit. And she's like, well, how's it going? Are you losing the weight? I said, I actually don't know. I have no idea. I'm not really interested in measuring myself. My body feels good. I'm doing my best to say positive things about my body, and I'm focusing on that. But moreover, when I get to the ski hill, I guess I'll know when I try my ski pants on. That's sort of my barometer right now, and that's the only one that I'm really interested in. So I get to the ski hill, and the first time I put on my pants, I'm like, oh, okay, I think those feel better. But I'm a little bit, doubtful. Do they actually feel better, or am I telling myself they feel better? So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to just see how it feels over the day. Over the day, I noticed more and more that my pants felt fine. Are they perfect? No. Could I definitely lose some more weight? Absolutely. I'm not really that worried about it, but I noticed, I'm like, wow. So about 2:00 the afternoon, I said to Dave, babe, my pants actually feel like they're fitting a lot better. I'm really happy with this. I feel like some of the changes I've made are starting to have the effect that I want to. And he's like, that's fantastic. That was the end of our conversation. So I want to wrap this up real tight because we're at 23 minutes and I wanted to keep this in 20 minutes, but I like to talk to you guys. Here's what I want you to take away from today's episode. If there is something that you want to incorporate in your life, find a way to do it in a manageable chunk of time, in a way that does not cause you overwhelm, so that you can sustain it. That was one of the big things that I was trying to think when I was, working on revamping my morning. This needs to be sustainable. I am not interested in creating something that in 3 weeks I'm going to fall off because I can't keep it up, because I've created way too much for myself. Hence, overwhelm, right? We don't want to do that. I would encourage you to have a good look at your own morning routine. Is there something that you want to incorporate more of in the morning? And can you do a 20-minute block of it? Why 20 minutes? Well, 10 minutes is not really enough time to get into something. 30 minutes, like what I was experiencing, might actually cause you a bit of a delay in the rest of the day. So start with 20 minutes. There's nobody saying that we can't expand on it, in a month or 2 months or 3 months. You're like, okay, this 20 minutes is really working, and the rest of my life is starting to, bring a bit more clarity. So I could actually add an extra 10 minutes into this, or an extra 5 minutes, or 2 minutes. Like, it doesn't have to be these huge leaps and bounds. It could be small incremental changes, slowly bringing it up. But see if you can do it for 20 minutes. Here's the cool thing, and I want to leave this with you for today. I know we've talked mostly about exercise, and definitely the 20-minute meditation has been phenomenal. You know that I believe big time in meditation. If this is your first episode with me, I believe big time in meditation. I think we should all be doing it. I think it's a super powerful and very useful tool for us that I think the world is going to embrace more of. My guy's not yet on board, but that's okay. He'll get there too. I know he will. But here's the cool thing that I want to leave you with today. A couple weeks ago, I was in Ottawa for a conference for my job. And I got to meet a ton of new people, which was super exciting. And I met one person in particular, and she and I became like really good friends. We hung out the whole time we were there. She's my kind of people. Like we just, it was so fun to hang out with her for the 4 or 5 days, however long I was there. When she left, she actually flew home earlier than I did. And I was like, I feel super lonely now. What am I going to do now? But she and I had some great conversations. And when I was in Ottawa, the hotel that we were staying in had a gym and had a pool. So perfect. I brought my workout gear and I brought my swimsuit. I made a point. There was 2 mornings I swam laps. It's a hotel pool, y'all. It's not a lap pool, which I've actually never swam in, but that's okay. It's not a lap pool, but I made it work. I knew that swimming is a great exercise, and I don't have a pool at home. Great. All right. I swam 2 days. I spent, I think 2 other days I went down to the gym and like just rode the bike or whatever else. I can't remember. So I said to her, in the morning, she's like, how was your morning? I'm like, oh, I had a great morning. I got my workout in and blah, blah. She's like, wow, I'm so impressed. And I said, well, it's only 20 minutes. If I focus on just doing it for 20 minutes, it's totally doable. I'm not tired for the rest of the day. I'm not annoyed for the rest of the day. I can get 20 minutes of exercise in. I feel like I fucking nailed it before I've even had a shower in the day. She's like, interesting. She goes home, and this was, I think, my favorite text message I've gotten in the last couple weeks. She messages me about 2 days after we had returned home. Amy, I went for a 20-minute run tonight. It felt amazing. My body felt great. And I still had tons of time to do the things that I wanted to in the evening. That makes me elated. So if you decide to employ what I've talked about today, and whether it's a 20-minute workout or a 20-minute meditation or 20 minutes to work on your book or whatever it is, I would love to hear about it. Message me. You can message me on Instagram at IDareToBegin. You can email me, amy@daretobegin.net. I would love to hear about how you're adding in these 20 minutes and what effect it's having on your life. Is it working? And, is it working in the sense of like, hey, you went out for 20 minutes, you still got time to do everything else, even if it's in the evening, that exercise. So my friend that was talking about it, she did her exercise in the evening. And I messaged her a couple of days later and I said, have you done it again? She's like, yeah, I've done it 3 times this week. And I got to say, I really love it. Because when we can let go of the crap around it and all the bullshit reasons that we tell ourselves it needs to be longer or 20 minutes isn't enough, and we can just go for 20 minutes, commit to those 20 minutes, be fully into it for 20 minutes and go as much as we can for 20 freaking minutes, it's amazing what we can accomplish. That's it. 20 minutes, man. Get out there. I believe you can do it. I'm so excited for you. I'm excited for me. I'm excited for all of us. It's an amazing day. I just rubbed my knuckles on my desk. Did you hear that? Anyway, it's all good. Happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy whatever day of the week this is to you that you're listening. I am stoked that you're listening. Thank you for being here. If you like this episode, please do share it out. Either drop a screenshot in your Instagram. If you do, feel free to tag me, or just send the link to a friend and be like, hey, you got to check this person out. She's a little crazy, but she's fun to listen to. I hope that's my goal. All right, friends, thank you so much for listening, and I wish you a phenomenal rest of your day. Are you tired of figuring it out all on your own? Of sitting in overwhelm, knowing that you're not moving forward, but having no idea where or how to start? Are you ready to learn effective, profit-supporting strategies for your business so that you can finally earn the money you desire and step into the freedom that you're working so hard to create? If so, I invite you to join me inside the Launchpad. You'll get instant access to free training designed to meet you where you are right now and propel you forward toward the dream that you hold in your mind. It's time to make a powerful move toward your future. Time to step up and serve the people who desperately need your help. Let's not keep them waiting any longer. Today is the day. Join the Launchpad now. Just go to daretobegin.net/the Launchpad and sign up. Your success is inevitable. Now, let's launch it.